to be working with these cute little totes, paper totes. I mean, they are just the cutest. So we're going to make a fun fold today, kind of a pop-up tote, and I just can't wait to share that with you. So let's get started. Okay, so here is our new Notes and Totes collection. So we've got this stamp set with such cute sentiments. You know me, I'm a sucker for big fonts, script with print. I just love it. So sending warm wishes, just a note, you earned it, relax and enjoy. And I love these. Newsflash, you're fabulous. Exclusive, made just for you. So grateful, true story, right? I love those. And of course some extra little fun. And I'll show you the card in a minute, but here are the dies, and these really, I think, make this set, right? Because you have all of these parts and pieces to create some fun totes. So here's the one that I just showed you. Here's just a basic tote using some of our DSP. Isn't it cute? I'm like, I need a real life one of these. They're just darlings. So I'm going to show you how those dies work and show you some different ways you can put those together as well. And then I'm also going to use the perennial postage dies because they make such great borders for die cutting some of our designer paper. So here is today's card. We've got Relax and Enjoy, and you're going to see lots of this beautiful designer series paper. And that is from the Mixed Media Florals DSP. So it's that beautiful, it's an online exclusive. So if you haven't checked out that online store, there is so much in there, and these are just beautiful, beautiful patterns. I love that there's also black and white. You can mix into that, and so that's what we'll be using today. As always, with our card tutorials, you can find a printable version on my blog at stampinqueenbee.com, and you can find the printable that has the step-by-step tutorial. It's got all the measurements, so you don't have to write them down as you watch. And all of the parts and pieces, the supply list, all of that is on there with some pictures. So you can find that there. You can also subscribe on my blog to my weekly Buzz Bulletin email, and I will email that out to you. It's totally free because I appreciate each of you, and it's just something I love to provide for you. So you can find that there. Also, if you need one of our annual catalogs, there is a catalog request form on there, and if I am your preferred demonstrator, then I'd be happy to send one of those your way. So we've got this cute Relax and Enjoy. We've got this beautiful picket fence, and that is this die here. So when I first got this die set, I was like, what is that? Is it a crate? What is it, right? But it's this beautiful picket fence. And then we've done some stamping, we've cut out from the DSP, but here the inside is the magic. So we've got our card, we're gonna open it up, and our purse pops up in the middle of our card there. So you can see more designer paper in the inside there. And I'm gonna show you a couple of different things you can stuff your purse with. So in this one, I just have a little note, right? Exclusive, made just for you, and you could write on the back of that. You can do gift cards in here and a couple different things. So I'll show you that at the end, but that is our card we're gonna make today. So let me put these to the side so that we can get started, right? So I've already kind of die cut everything. We're ready to go. We'll start with some stamping. I'll put this over here, but we're gonna use some Shy Shamrock first. And we're going to use that Relax and Enjoy sentiment. And I'm just going to stamp this right onto a scrap paper of basic white. So our main colors today are basic white, Shy Shamrock, which is one of our in colors, Relax and Enjoy. Isn't that just beautiful? I love that sentiment. And I love that Shy Shamrock. And then we'll pull in some of those other colors with the DSP. So we've got all of this, and then we would just take this with some paper snips and we would just cut this out. So to save a little time, magic of YouTube TV here, I have already done that for us. So we've got our sentiment there. we've got our card base here, which is basic white, and I've already just cut it. It's just half sheet of the 8.5 by 11, scored down the middle, cut down the middle, and that's how we get our card. So let's start with the front of our card, and I will grab those parts and pieces and we will get this together. So the first piece I've already cut, so this is just kind of our layer number 1 here. This is from that designer series paper. So that is that Shy Shamrock, right? Isn't that pretty? Both sides are pretty. So we're gonna use this instead of like a cardstock layer, and we're just gonna build up this card. What I do love is even though we've got lots and lots of layers on here, you can send it for one stamp. So that is nice because it's a pretty flat card, even though we've got lots of these layers, because we're using our DSP as our layers. So we're just gonna center that right on the front. And then I've got another piece of that DSP also cut. This time, this one is die cut using the perennial postage dies. And so I used this die here, this great big die, and it makes a really beautiful layer size there for us. So we've got that. And again, we're just gonna adhere this. Look at the back side, see? That's so pretty too. We're just gonna adhere this right to the center of that first layer. So we just get a bit of that green border, which is so pretty, right? Easy so far, don't you think? Now we're gonna build our picket fence. So you can see we've got our picket fence there. So you're actually gonna die cut that from your dies. Remember, it's this die here, so it's one solid die. And you're just gonna die cut it twice. Woo, there went everything. It's one solid die here. And you're just going to die cut this 2 times out of basic white. So that will build our little picket fence here. So we're gonna take these smaller ones first, and most picket fence, right, are a little bit wonky, right, from the weather and how they fall and stuff. So one thing I like about this is you don't need to worry about getting them exactly lined up. So we're just gonna add our adhesive, and I'm just gonna kind of put them left, right, left, right. We're gonna do 5 of them, just kind of all in a row, but they don't have to be perfectly straight and level. If you like them perfectly straight and level, well, go ahead. I just think this is much easier to line up, right? Okay, so we've got 3, a couple more on here that we will build our fence with. And you'll have some extra pieces. You may have some extra pieces from die cutting that. That's okay, you can use those on your next project. So we'll just go ahead and put all those on. Then with our longer piece, now you can see it's a bit longer than my card here, right? So you can just decide where you want to trim this off, and I'll just use my snips to add my glue there. And we're gonna add 2 of these, one kind of on the top, a little more adhesive here, one kind of right below. So then, because that overhangs a bit, we're just gonna take our snips. Oh boy, do you see what I did? Have you ever done that? Well, you've seen it done now, right? It's okay. So we're just gonna snip this off. Oh boy. I'm gonna show you how I fix this. So let me grab my paper trimmer here. So mine will be a bit thicker from what I'm gonna have to do here. So let's just trim this off. I think I just like to be real with y'all, and you know, sometimes things happen, and some of you are probably yelling through the camera, Tracy, Tracy, flip that around, right? Flip that around. Okay, so I just trimmed that. We're gonna pretend that did not happen. Let me grab a new card base here. Okay, so we've got a new basic white card base. Let's just fold this, burnish it, and we'll just pretend that did not happen, right? So we'll just adhere this right to the front. The recipient will never know. And I'm just gonna put this right on the front. I should have double checked that, but good, it does open the right way. Okay. Hold that there a second, and now our card opens the right way. See, I meant to do that. Okay, so now let's add our sentiment. So I've got some Stampin' Dimensionals here, and I just wanted to kind of use this piece because you can use every piece of your dimensional, even the border. So I will take, and you can see that I have snipped them, just snipped the paper with some scissors that I use for adhesive, so I get some smaller pieces there, and you can use all of the ends. And so I wanted to show you that today, because sometimes I've heard that some of you toss those away, and you can use every piece of that, right? So then I'm just using these, especially these thin ones. They work great for sentiments like this, right? And then we'll just peel the backings right off. And we're gonna put this, and I kind of liked it right above. And if your dimensionals hang over a bit, you can kind of fold them over. But I like to put this so it looked like it was kind of setting right above that top layer of my fence there. Now you'll see I have this kind of dimensional flower there, and so that was from the designer series paper. So I just did a bunch so you could see, but I just fussy cut some of those through the paper. Nothing fancy or anything, and just take one of them. Doesn't matter which one, you can just decide. And we're just gonna pop it up. Guess we'll use this one here. You could use a couple if you wanted, but we're just gonna pop this up with some more of those dimensionals. So those little dimensional pieces, they come totally in handy here, right? Okay, so we'll take the backs off of those, and we're just going to put this, and I kind of just set it so it was over one of those fence posts, and that way it popped right up. Okay, so that is the basics of our front of our card. Easy, right? We're just using those dies, letting that designer series paper do the work for us, and so we've got that. Now let's do the fun inside piece. Now that we've got that, right? Okay, so for the inside, you're gonna need a couple of DSP layers. This is one of my favorite patterns in this set. You're also gonna need one of those second from the largest postage dies. So this makes a great inside layer if you want to use your designer series paper just to give the insides of your cards a little pop. That is a super easy way. So we're gonna do that, so we'll need those. And then we're gonna need our tote die cuts. So for today's project, we're gonna need two of these totes. So this is your big tote piece. What I love about it is it's got those score marks already on it. So it makes it really, really easy for us to put this together. So you're gonna take two of them, and you can see, you can line them up, right? And they will go together. So before we put our adhesive on, what I like to do is just kind of fold on those score lines. So that way I kind of know where my tote is going to line up. Now this piece here, normally if you were making a three-dimensional tote, so that's kind of how I did this one, you would attach the two sides like we're gonna do, and you would fold these in to make the bottom of your tote, right? So for this one though, today we're gonna fold them out so that we can attach them to our card. So we're just going to, so whatever color of your DSP that you want facing out, you will fold that up on. So we're just gonna go ahead and we've got all of our score lines. So now you can kind of see our tote coming to life here, right? So we're gonna use these tabs to attach together. So if you're making this 3D one, that's how you would do that. And then you would tuck these in if you wanted to make it 3-dimensional, and that would be your tote, right? We're gonna do it a tiny bit different today, but we are going to attach it just like you would at first. So I'm gonna use some tear and tape adhesive. I think it works the best for these type projects because it holds really, really well. So we're just gonna tear off a little piece and add that to our little tab flap, whatever we wanna call this. We're gonna peel that off. And we're gonna take our other piece, the other side of our tote, and we're gonna line this up. So the way I do it is I just kind of fold them together. Let me get closer here so you can see. But I'm looking at this top edge here, and I'm just lining that up, mushing it together so I know it stays. And so now my tote is connected over here. Now we could open it up, right? Wouldn't that be the pretty of the inside of one of our purses? I think so. Now we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So I'm just gonna take a piece of my tear and tape here. I'm gonna add that right on. I'm gonna peel off the backing here. And if your nails can't get it, use your take your pick tool. Works really good for the tear and tape adhesive. Okay, and then the same thing, I'm just gonna fold these together and I kind of hold it from the bottom and then line up the top and make sure it aligns all the way and then press it together. So now we kind of have the base of our tote here. So if we were making a 3-dimensional one, wouldn't this be cute to have as like a little party favor or something? Or so cute. So then if we were doing that, we would fold these in just like so and attach them, and that's how you would, and you would fold those in, and that is how you would attach those. But since today we're gonna make a little pop out, we're gonna fold them the opposite way. So for this one, we're actually gonna put our tear and tape onto the other side, because what essentially we're gonna do is we're gonna do like this. So we're gonna attach this piece to this side, then we're gonna put it down, we're gonna put our tape here, and we'll close up our card and it will attach there. So let me get my first piece on here. Let me get my second piece on here. We're gonna leave the backing on that one for a minute. So let's take this first one off. We're gonna take our card, and so we know that the center of our card is here. So I'm just kind of lining that bottom of my tote up, flipping this down. Okay, we've got that. Now we've got our other piece here. And instead of trying to put that down, what we're gonna do, we want our card to close, right? So we want to lay that down. And then look, our tote pops up right in the middle center of our card. Now, that doesn't look too cute, so we're gonna do a couple of things. So we're just gonna take our paper snips. You could do this before, but I actually found it worked a little better if I did it after. So just those little extra bits here, we're just going to snip right off. Same with this one here. You could just, I mean, if you want to do it before, you could just snip off those little extras. But these tabs, we don't want them to show, right? So now we're gonna take this DSP that we had and we're gonna attach this over. So this is twofold. One, it kind of covers that, and two, it helps to secure our little tote in even more. So I am just taking my DSP and I'm putting it all the way up to the edge of that tote and putting that right down, making sure it's straight. Hold it there a second, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. I just think this card is the cutest. Who wouldn't love to get a little tote pop up in the mail, right? And then the same thing. So we don't want to center this necessarily. We want to push it all the way up so it covers that. So it covers the edges of that tote, right? So we don't want to see that whole big tab. All right, so we've got that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so now our perennial postage die that we die cut, we're just going to adhere this. You could stamp on this if you wanted to add another sentiment. I'm not gonna on this one because I want to show you a couple of different things I did for the inside of the tote, a couple different options that you have. Okay, so we've got that inside. Now we got to decorate our tote a little bit here. So I like to do this after I get it all secured here because it makes it a little bit easier, and then I don't have to worry where if I did it on the wrong side, because I like the front of my tote to be where they open it, right? So let me first show you some different ways you can decorate the tote. So this is the one I've been showing you. This is just some DSP with some black cardstock where I cut out the handles. So there's a couple of different handles in this die set. So that would be these here. They kind of look like headphones to me on the die, but when you cut them out, then you've got that beautiful handle. So I've used those same handles a couple of times. Here's another one, which is so cute because you can kind of make it look like a designer bag with this kind of front pocket and like that little logo. I love the black and white. You've got that. So this is just the flip-flopped version of that DSP, right? Because this is the outside here and the outside here, and the insides are just flip-flopped. Then there is another handle, which is this one here for a little more casual of a bag. And there's also these super cute, what would we call this? Like piping, stitching that you could do. That would be these dies here. And this bigger one that connects to that actually does this bottom piece. So it's this and these two from this die, and then this handle here, which does this kind of a little more casual handle. Then of course we could add a little scarf to our tote. We could put a pair of sunglasses on there if we wanted, a little tag. I mean, there's all kinds of cute things. These two little ones up here are what do this kind of, I call it a logo. Here's one more purse that I did that's also a simple one like this with just the DSP and some handles actually cut out of DSP for this one. So lots of options in decorating your cute tote, right? I had so much fun. It was sort of like a paper dolls exercise in it making these, right? So for this one today, we're gonna kind of make a designer bag. So we've got this die. You can see it's got the little stitching right on it. So it kind of makes that front piece of our tote. So we're just gonna put this kind of the center towards the bottom, we'll call it. And then we're gonna add our little logo piece. And I'm just gonna put that right there, kind of in the center. So we've got that. Then we've got our handles. So I used those ones, I think they look like a little headphone. Aren't they cute? You could use either side, right? So I'm gonna use the opposite of my purse ones this time. So how I like to do this is to attach the back one first or the front one first. It doesn't really matter. So let's do the front, and then I'll show you how I line them up. So I'm just putting kind of a little dot of glue on each of the ends of those. Gonna add this to the front. You just want to hold it there a second so that those get real stuck down. Perfect. And then this one, I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'm just gonna add my dot of glue to each of those kind of ends. And then what I like to do is kind of hold it like I was holding my purse so that I know that they're kind of like lined up there. And then I press it down. And so now, and once you get it lined up, you can flip it over and really press. But now my handles are lined up. Isn't it just the cutest? So that is our tote pop-up, we'll call it. Relax and enjoy. It needs a little bling. So I'm gonna use, since it sort of like looks like a garden here, I'm gonna use these brushed brass butterflies. That's a tongue twister. With my take your pick tool here. And I'm just gonna put a couple of these butterflies. You could put, there's two sizes in here, so we could put them kind of on the flowers. And let's do one more maybe on the fence. Let's see, maybe on the fence right there. That way it pops up so you can see those gold. Aren't those pretty? All right, and then let's do a couple on the inside here. So we use the big one and maybe a small one and then another little small one right here at the top. Don't those go so well with that? I love those little butterflies. And they're flat, so you can put them on the inside of your card. Because see, when we close up our card, even with all of that tote in there, it's still, you know, regular card thickness. So a couple of other options for your tote. So you could cut, this is cut from that perennial postage. That's where I cut this from. And this size in the perennial postage is this one here. I think it's the third biggest one. It's that kind of half size. And so this will fit, if you want to hide your card in your tote, it will fit exactly in there. So that's one option. Another option would be to grab you some tissue paper. Now you could use white that matched or a color that matched, but when I tried to show white here, it didn't show well on the camera. So I grabbed some hot pink, and if you were to, you know, fold this and maybe put a little something in there, you could stuff your tote so it almost looked like a little gift bag. Smush that so it went flat. But then when they opened it, like, it would be hidden. And when they opened it, it would be like a tote with almost like a little gift bag, right? Isn't that cute? Oh, our scarf. I forgot to add our scarf. You probably noticed that. Let's add our scarf. So here's the little cute scarf piece. And we could use either side really of this. So I'm just gonna add a dot here. And we'll just put that right like it was tied on the handle there. And there we have a little scarf piece. Isn't that cute? Okay, so the tissue paper is an idea for inside your tote. The little card, if you want to stamp and make that for the inside. If you want to use a gift card, so here's a Starbucks gift card. And isn't it cute? Yes, queen. Okay, so you could put that in there vertically, so it was sticking out if you wanted them to see it. Maybe you wanted to do it with the tissue, so maybe it was like in the tissue was your gift card. How cute is that, right? Or you could even put a standard gift card will fit if you line it up so it goes right in those creases. It will fit so it kind of sticks out, and then your card will actually close up. So then they'll see that there's like a gift card inside, right? Isn't that cute? So whether it's a gift card option, if you want to just do a little note, if you want to put, if you were handing this to someone, you could put like a little candy or something, a little charm, maybe some earrings. It could be all kinds of options for that, right? So that is our fun tote card. Let me put out my other little totes because they're just so darling. I think the possibilities are totally endless with creating cute little totes. If you had a daughter or granddaughter who loved dolls or Barbies, wouldn't that be cute to give her for some options for those? I just think they are the cutest. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you love our notes and totes fun, and I can't wait to see your creations. So thank you so much for watching, for subscribing, for liking and sharing with your friends. I love all your comments and seeing all your creations, so please keep those coming. I love each and every one of them and each and every one of you. So have a great Thursday, and I will see you guys on Tuesday for another Template Tuesday video. Have a great one.